Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So, subject is actually going to be Yonex today. How do we cut the, clutter with the Yonex 100 rackets? This actually came from a viewer. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So before I get started here, I want to give a big shout out to Jason A. Marks. Thank you for the morning Joe, Jason, and for the making my afternoon so bright. This is pineapple iced tea with a little sweetener for my afternoon pick-me-up, since it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon right here and right before the Christmas rush. Oh, very good. Thank you, Jason. Anybody else wants to keep me awake before Christmas, or for the matter of fact, most of the time, network is buymeacoffee/tennis spin. Okay, so this question came from Barry Johnson. Here's a question for you and your Yonex expert from Tokyo, Sacramento. Okay, so Barry writes, what is the real difference between a Yonex Vcore Pro 100, the Ezone 100, and for that matter, the Vcore 100? The latter has a softer RA, but I'm not seeing much difference in the Vcore Pro and the Ezone. Barry currently plays with a lime green Ezone from 97 ? And did demo the Vcore 98 6th generation, which he liked but felt a little less pop. I'm a serve and volley player, big lefty spin, kick serve, mostly from the baseline. Debating on a racket change, more control in the game. Okay, cool. All right, Barry. So just a quick thing for you, for Barry, before I get into this, when you go from 100 to a 98, you're definitely going to lose a little power. In the 100 lines of Yonex, usually the beams get thinner as you go smaller. Therefore, the beam, which, when it's thick, definitely is a little more rigid for more stiffness, for more power. When they go 98, they thin these out for more control. So yes, you're going to feel a loss of power, but you're going to gain control. Okay, so you just got to make an adjustment with the strings, probably a couple pounds looser should do you. Okay, so let's get into the question here. I'm actually going to do double barrel action. Cold coffee. Ooh, oh, you guys ever do that before? Kind of shoots it up your head. Okay. Okay. So let's actually see what we got here first. We got Vcore Pro in the 100. Okay. Ezone. The new Ezone 2021 in the 100. Regular Vcore in the 100. Now, I'm going to stack it one on top of the other. I'd like you to see, you can actually tell a little bit. Obviously, that's the thinnest one of all, which is the Vcore Pro. It's a little hard to tell, but these two look very similar in the thickness, but where you gain the control, right, is when you look at the throat area. See how thin that is? See how thick that is? That's why this is the least powerful. This is the second least powerful. This is the stiffest of the three. But when we're talking about Yonex rackets in general, they're not known for power. I mean, the shape itself is known for, flexibility, control, feel is what Yonex is known for. All right, so now let's look at the vitals. Vcore 100. Okay, the weight. This is strong weight, strong specs. Okay, 11.2, 318, 321. That's swing weight, right? Balance, 4 points head light. RA is a stiffness 63. Beam is a consistent 23 all across. Let's compare it though. So this is supposed to be the most controlled, right? Thinnest, okay? But if you look at the Ezone 100 in the 2022 version and the Vcore 100 in its current version, the weight is actually very similar. The actual total strung weight, very similar. Where it changes, though, is the swing weight a little bit, just a little, right? Because this is thinner, they actually make sure that it goes through a little faster, right? So if you look at the swing weight, I mean, it's not much of a difference, but you see that these are 324, which is a little higher than the 321. Okay. Now the balance, identical. Stiffness is where you see a slight change though. This is the most flexible, right? Because it's the thinnest beam. Little stiffer, little thicker. A hair more stiffer, more thicker. So look at these two numbers, right? Exactly what I said. Thinner the beam, more flexible. Thicker the beam, little stiffer. Yonex rackets in general are not stiff, right? So we got the Vcore here with a 67, little thicker here. That's not right, like over 70. So there is a slight bend to it, nice feel to it, good flexibility, right? You're not gonna, hurt your arm with that racket unless you do something stupid like string it up at 70 pounds with a, hard poly. So when you basically cut the clutter from these three rackets, Barry was saying that there's not a whole lot of difference between these two, the Ezone 100 versus the Vcore Pro 100. If you look at the first three categories of this, yeah, that's true. There's not a whole lot. But when you look at the last two here, there's a difference, right? It's stiffer in the Ezone because it's thicker in the Ezone. It's thin here though. It's thinner here in the throat area because this is causing a little more flex. But the 25 and the 24, these two numbers, which is in the middle of the racket at 3 and 9 o'clock, and then this is at the top, is where it compensates and gives you that 66. That's where it gives you the stiffness, which equates to a little more power. Okay? Now, that's why when I asked you guys to look, right, it's hard to tell here, but it's definitely easier to tell here. That's even thinner than that. That's thicker, obviously, than both of those. All right, so which Yonex 100 is good for you? Well, you know now which one has the most power. You know now which one has the most control. So for Barry, buddy, I would probably suggest if you wanted the control to probably go here. Since you're currently using a 98, we're going to go a little bit bigger to give you a little more power, but still have the control with the beam. Okay? Just my suggestion. All right. Thank you, Barry, for the question. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.